Hello everyone, I'm Paul and today we're solving problem 1317. Convert integer to the sum of two non-zero integers. This is an easy one that has at least two different solutions, so next I will show you both. We are given an integer n and we need to return a list of two integers a and b where these integers don't contain any zero and the sum of these two is equal to n. And there might be more than one valid solution, so we can return any of them. So if n is 2, we can return an array with 1 and 1. And given that 1 plus 1 is 2, this is a valid result. Here we have this value which doesn't contain any zeros, and the same goes for this one. So let's start with what I think is the most intuitive approach. It's not the most efficient, but it's very intuitive. Let's say n is 11. And now we are iterating every number from 1 to 11, and we are adding to an array, we'll call this valid, every number that doesn't include a 0. So the only number which includes a 0 from 1 to 11 is 10. So this array will contain 1, 2, 3 and every value up to 11 except for 10. So now here we have the list of valid numbers and we can iterate every possible pair with a nested for loop. So we can say for x invalid, for y invalid, and as soon as we find that x plus y is equal to n, we just return an array with x and y. So let's see the code. First we say valid is an empty array, and for x in range n, if not 0 in x, and we need to transform this into a string because this is currently an integer. So if this doesn't include a 0, valid.append x. And now we can run every possible pair, so for x invalid, for y invalid. And we can have repeated values here, so if x and y are equal, it doesn't matter, we can use that. So if x plus y is equal to n, we just return an array with x and y. And we are guaranteed to have one valid pair, so this is it. This is the entire code. So now let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works. Time complexity here is big O of n squared, and space complexity big O of n. So this works, but we can make this more efficient. Let's go with the second approach. Instead of building an entire array to store numbers which don't contain any zeros, we can check this on the way and have only one loop. We know that a plus b should be equal to n. This means that b is n minus a. We are solving for b here. So the b-brain solution here is to use only one for loop, and this will be the corresponding b for every a. Let's go with the code. We can say for a in range from 1 to n, and remember the formula. If a plus b is equal to n, this means that b is equal to n minus a. So b is n minus a. So now we know what is the perfect b for every a. And now we can check if not 0 in string a and not 0 in string b, we just return the array with a and b. Now let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's more efficient than the previous solution. Here we have only one for loop and time complexity will be big O of n times log n, this requires log n, and space complexity will be big O of 1. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.